There we go. Turns out my Stream Deck does not want to work, so we'll have to do this manually. Bids, it's good to see you. How's everything going? Thanks so much for stopping by. Probably should start asking about how eager you are to join in these streams. But yeah, everything's all up and running, but it looks like so. We're all good. Fantastic stuff. Oh, I need to activate some boosts. But yeah. We alive, and we're back with a second stream on the weekends. Name. Let's put some of these on. It's not like I was waiting for anything with all the free time I have today, even if I'm late. Yeah, admittedly, it did just kind of get away from me today, but I did have a few things to sort out. It's, considering I wasn't initially planning to actually do a second stream this weekend, I'll quite happily take the opportunity to do one. So all your free time then, Bids? What's kept you active today? What's Sunday been for you today? And also welcome everyone else to the stream. How's everything going? Do appreciate you spending time with me. Hope you're all having some lovely weekends. Do have a couple of content ideas I kind of want to run on with today, which I'll probably get to after the stream, so that'll probably be this evening. I see a lot of people talking about these swords. I just can't help but feel like people are missing something. Gotta admit, Bunny's feeling pretty good right now. Not normally the biggest Bunny fan, but yeah, she's definitely feeling pretty top tier right now. Whee. Can you show us your bunny loadout? Because I'm looking at the module screen. Yeah, absolutely, Bids. Yeah, it's absolutely fine. I tell you what, because there's different ways that you want to be able to run bunny. So suppose the real questions to start with are, do you have Ultimate Bunny, or do you just have regular Bunny? In fact, most of the time it doesn't really matter, I suppose. The other question is, do you have Blue Beetle? Because at the moment people tend to either run her non-crit or crit, and that kind of does depend on if you have the Blue Beetle, which is one of the ultimate weapons. So if you do have it, you can get away with running a crit, which is what I'm currently doing. Whereas if you don't have it, I probably would recommend staying clear and just using non-crit for the time being. Both still fantastic builds. It just takes a couple of mods, just difference. But I've got both setups, so I can show you what we're doing. I have Ultimus and don't have Blue Beetle. Fantastic, not a problem. We'll stick with non-crit then. Non-crit is the most consistent out of the two. Just because you are taking away that randomness and everything, because Bunny can't get to 100% crit rate. So we'll take away that, and we'll just make it so that she's just consistent across the board. So if you want to do that, you'll want a build similar to how this kind of looks. So the reason why you want to go for this kind of setup is Condense is fantastic as like an extra damage dealer you can just constantly cast. They've changed this recently so that you can now cast this while you're sprinting, so it's not going to take away any of your momentum. You can go into even more cooldown with this one to just basically spam this one away. It is still pretty fantastic to be able to do. So you do want to go for your cooldown, so you want your nimble fingers, you want your MP conversion and all that. The amplification mods here are going to be needed for going into the non-crit side of things, because it takes away the multipliers for hit and for rate, sorry, and damage. So it just gives you extra just consistency with skill power and everything. So singular for the modifier, electric for the skill power. Power increase works the best here because it opens up the skill power buckets, and that just gives you more damage overall. So you can swap this out if you do want to go for more cooldown to use and spam this ability a little bit more. You can go for focus on electric. You will do less damage overall, but you will get this back faster for you to be able to cast. So, you know, feel free to be able to weigh that one up. And then Dangerous Ambush is a bit of a weird spot here, because most people don't think this actually does anything for Bunny, but what this actually does is it makes it really consistent for the general kind of farming side of things. So when enemies initially spawn in, they haven't targeted you just yet, and because they haven't targeted you, you've actually got that extra 24.9% skill power. So it does actually make more sense to go for this rather than going for something like Decimator. Obviously, after that, outside of that, then obviously this isn't giving you anything, but this does make it so you can just blast your way through a farming level, and Dangerous Ambush does a really nice job with that. And then you just go into range with both your amplification control and your skill expansion, and that in combination with your arcade tuning gets you up to basically your skill range cap, which is 300% when it comes to Bunny. So if you want to get like a screenshot of that, feel free. That's pretty much the best way to be able to go. If you want to go for the reactor, depends on the content you're kind of doing. If you're going for just like typical 400% and less, then I would probably recommend a Singularity reactor. Let's just get rid of the new reactors. So I think I was initially running that one, but you can get away with a skill cooldown in place of any of those, but that will give you the most amount of damage on your emission. Whereas if you are looking to get the most out of it and you're going against some tankier enemies, you're going to be using your condense a little bit more, things like that. And then you do want to go for a tingling mixture, and the mixture will then power up your condense damage, and that will just be able to like blast away things. In terms of best for that one, I think most of mine have been pretty much set up for cooldown and yeah, gone into crit. So if you are going the non-crit version, I would probably recommend going for skill cooldown, and then once again going into one of the ratios, so either electric or fusion, depending on what you have access to. Fusion is the better one because it does a little bit more extra damage, but both still absolutely work when it comes to that. Components-wise, Hunter and also going into Enlightened Mage is probably best to be able to get more condensed spam. You can always go for 2-piece into Plague and 2-piece into Enlightened for even more damage, but I think the cooldown probably is going to help you out the most there. And then as for the weapon, anything that's a movement stat stick that's got one roll into sprint speed, and you pretty much hit cap, so you're pretty much good to go. So that's all you essentially need for a non-crit version. Primal Luke, hello, how's it going? How's your weekend currently treating you? Thank you so much for stopping by. Thundercage? Yeah, Thundercage is still fine because they've took away the mountings on the reactor. It doesn't really matter too much what weapon you actually take in. I think even the Thundercage has a roll into yellow. Yeah, so where you can see I've got recoil, you can actually replace that with sprint speed, and you'd still be able to hit the sprint speed cap of 1600, so you can get away with the Thundercage. There's nothing that's like a stat stick that boosts up the amount of damage that she technically does. So it's not like Secret Garden where it boosts up... boosts up skill power. Because you don't have anything that's dimensional tech, you can't actually get access to this. The only thing you can technically do is go into Blue Beetle, because you have both Fusion and Singular, you can activate Purification as well as Arcane Energy. But there isn't anything that actually specifically helps your skill power, and that's the reason why you can technically get away with most things. The only thing that we just kind of say, or in terms of most content creators and all that, is as long as you have a yellow weapon core slot on there for sprint speed, you're pretty much good to go. But Blue Beetle's primarily here for the crit-based side of things, so it is worth farming one of those. She does seem to technically be probably the most potent now going into crit, which is very strange considering she doesn't have... oh, I'm showing the non-crit. There we go. She doesn't have the highest crit rate when it comes in the game, but she can actually do some really nasty damage if you do manage to go for it, and also if you do go into the beam, which is maximum power, rather than going for condense, you do have multiple hits, and it is really nasty to be able to actually start landing some of those crits with this ability. So there's multiple different ways to be able to build Bunny now. She actually is quite creative in terms of how you can actually run her, but yeah, this is probably the best way. If you want to go for non-crit, that's probably what I'd start with, and then you can gravitate and start working your way towards the crit side, and just grabbing yourself a Blue Beetle. So I've just realised how deep my voice sounds today. That's I think I need to drink a little bit more. Oh dear. So what is everyone currently farming for at the moment inside the game? Let's oh, got some more rewards. Town Farm 23. How much is it to purchase a level? 80? Oof. I don't really want to do that. What challenges can I blast out today? Action probably is fine. Infiltration, I'm about to get that. Yeah, so basically just doing Axion infiltrations, and we can start working towards our first ever drop of the Shadow, even though I just haven't been able to get anything I need. Fantastic. I've got 2 more dailies just to get out of the way, and then we can start farming for those weapon parts. But considering all the modules costing millions to be able to get them fully done up and everything, I kind of need the money. I think I saw a Sen's recent video and I was looking at it going, how the hell do you have over 1 billion gold? But I suppose with Sen it is his day job, so it's fair enough. Oh, okay. If I remember right, it's this one. Yeah, absolutely no problems, Bids. I've got a couple. Oh, I've completely forgotten which one it is. If you need any kind of like, oh wow, this is getting embarrassing. Uh, Obviously, you're quite close with the measure and all that kind of thing. But if you need any extra help and all that kind of thing, I have started doing infographics for most of my builds. Um, so if you need something in the meantime, or something that's a bit more custom for your kind of like position and everything like that, yeah, just let me know. I'm more than happy to take a look at things and see what we can come up with and sort you out. We can get most of the content completed for you, nice and easy. Well, that's... I mean, heck, that's what we're here for. Use us. Where's blue? There we go. Oh, why are you slowing down? Yeah, admittedly, like the first time... What are you doing? There we go. Yeah, admittedly, when I first dropped into TFT and all that kind of thing, it is very overwhelming and all that. I fully appreciate what you're saying there. But you know, you've got the people around you that have been like put so many hours into this and all that kind of thing. Feel free to... Got any questions? Yeah, just... I mean, heck, if you prefer to, feel free to just drop me a DM. I'm more than happy to answer that way. I mean, I've got the Discord there to be able to help you out. We've got a bunch of people that are pretty good. You know, got multiple hours and all that kind of thing. Heck, I think Smiley over in the Discord is has been crucial for Sen to be able to get some of the times that he's done in some of the Abyss fights and all that kind of thing on the leaderboard. So, you know, very useful person to, you know, get to know and all that kind of thing. So, but yeah, that's. I mean, gotta be honest. The TFT community is, you know, if you take out the googling side, shall we call it? If you take away that side of things, it's actually a very welcoming community. Was it this one? I can't remember. No, it wasn't that one. I think it's this one. There we go. Managed to reset my money a couple times since last night, so progress. Oh, fantastic work. Yeah, in the early days where you don't know what's actually good as a mod and all that kind of thing, and you don't know how to build. You know, when you have finite resources and everything like that, I can appreciate that it's not the easiest thing to go into building. But yeah, you know, like I said, we'll figure it out together. We can sort it out. Brown Luke, is this all good and worth the farm? Well, if you're looking for a generic weapon to be able to use, I don't think the sword is the play. It's just a little bit on the niche side. We'll take those out. We'll pop that in. There we go, and then we'll save that as my. That way I don't have to keep worrying about going back and forth. I've yet to get Shadow and all that kind of thing. So I can only purely go off the item card and to be able to like get an idea as to if it's going to be any good. From what I've seen in the community, I don't think the Shadow is fantastic. You can get a little bit of work done with it, but I don't think it's fantastic. So don't expect it to be, you know, anything like Last Dagger or Albion Cavalry or Enduring Legacy or Thunder Cage or anything along those kind of lines. But it is still, you know, it's going to have its uses. Now, in the case of Deus Manus, I've got to cat this up a little bit more because I've just started getting like some of the other mods and all that kind of thing. It's a bit of a farm. But from what I've seen in the community, people don't like this, but I feel like people are missing out on this stat that exists right here. And this makes it a fantastic option to swap to inside of Axiom Planes. This technically means that we can actually take down those commanders, which should be either the end-of-level bosses or including the special enemies that drop mid-mission that have got, like, extra to them. I always forget what they're called. But it's always the ones that drop extra rewards, and there's only one of them that drops every single mission and stuff like that. In theory, this should be the best weapon to be able to use against those ones. But I need to be able to build this out a little bit more. It has the damage by the looks of things. It just I don't know why it's falling down. In theory, it should be pretty good. You know, 204k, 47k. So we're doing around about 250k's worth of damage per swing. In an arc that should be able to hit multiple people. Crit hit rate is really easy to be able to get up, so it goes into a 9x damage multiplier, which is insane. And then we get 4 times on top of that against the commanders. This should be pretty good against that side of things, so that's the testing that I do intend to try and sort out at some point once I've managed to get this leveled up a little bit more. The only downside to it is the fact that it does use MP, and I've no idea why that's the case. It uses ammo as well as MP per swing. You should see here. It's a weird choice. Don't know why they've done that, but you know, just pick a lane. It should be one or the other. I don't know why it's going to go into both. But you know, like I said, we'll do some proper testing once we manage to get this fully leveled up. So that's the idea with some of the consumables. So I've got the weapon proficiency, and we'll get this fully tested and all that kind of thing. It's a bit difficult to make it like a decision until I've managed to give it a proper test, I think, in that case. XXX23, so stop by. How's it going? How's your weekend currently treating you? Any tips? I just unlocked hard mode. I started playing in the beta. Oh, well, that's a while back now. The game's almost like a completely different game now since that time. Any tips? Ooh. I guess it depends on where you're up to in terms of farming descendants and everything like that. The main thing that I would probably recommend that you do is get your mastery rank up as high as possible. Now, you get this up, you may already know, but just to kind of like recap, but you get this up by the first time that you get every single weapon up to level 40 in proficiency. So by just having it equipped, you will be earning XP towards it as you start killing enemies, completing missions, stuff like that. Same with Descendants, where first time they go up to level 40, once again you earn some Mastery Rank XP. This kind of affects what content you can go into. Some of them are locked behind walls of like Mastery Rank 18. I think 21 might be another, but I could be kind of talking out my butt for that one. But 18 definitely sticks in my mind. There is certain things that you just cannot do until you get to that mastery rank. So I would recommend that you just farm a bunch of different items, stuff that you're not necessarily going to use. In that case, I would keep one weapon in your primary that you want to keep using, so like a stat stick or something like that. And then the other 2 slots you can fill it up with weapons that you're not going to, and you just want to build up that mastery rank. So for example, I probably should actually do this one, to be fair, because I'm not the highest mastery rank or anything like that. But once this gets to level 40, that's the most XP that I can get from that. And then I can just take this out, dismantle it, whatever I want to do, and then swap in something else that's not level 40 and just go from there. Outside of that, focus on getting some of the more meta descendants unlocked, as well as the more meta weapon choices. Sorry, excuse me. And then you can build up on it from there. In terms of descendants, getting Ultimate Bunny is a fantastic option. Ultimate Lepic's now pretty in a good spot right now, so you can get away with being able to use him as well. Freyna is always going to be pretty good, pretty solid. What else do we have? Inez, Nell's pretty good, but she's a bit more of a recent unlock. Serena is absolutely still top of the meta in terms of what she can do, so just keep an eye out for the parts for that. And then everyone else you can just kind of fill in along the way and just grab after you've got those ones. If you're looking for the best ways to be able to find out for those parts, open up your map, click over to Library, head over to Descendant, and this will tell you all the bits that you essentially need to be able to get for every single one of these. And then once you go into there, you can click Acquisition Info, and it will tell you exactly where you can get those from. So if you ever need to like specifically target farm, that's the best way to be able to do that. So for example with Serena, if you ever need to be able to look where some of this stuff can be done, you just need to essentially unlock Sigma Sector. And farming Sigma Sector is fantastic because that also gives you XP towards your Arcade Tuning, which is extra little stats that you can have for every single one of your descendants. So it does kind of play into everything. It goes from one to the next to the other, and it just walks kind of fluidly like that. So that's probably the best thing that I would recommend, without knowing your current progress in terms of like exactly where you're up to, who you've got unlocked, and all that kind of thing. Those are probably the best tips that I would probably come up with just for the time being. So hopefully that gives you an idea as to what kind of direction to kind of take with that. Alright, so I've got my dailies done. Could go into Axiom, but to be fair, kind of want to see if I can get some of these sword parts. So who should I use? Still enjoy Blair. Go on. We'll do a bit more Blair. I do enjoy Blair. Yeah, we'll go with that then. Yeah, we'll just stick with that then. Kiana. Right, let's go into our Void Vessel. Let's see if we can start getting some of these lesser grabbed sword parts. Oh damn, I've just swapped over to Twitch, and it is a sad sight to see that Outriders is down to 5 total viewers across all the channels. Damn, that upsets me. I don't see this build ever getting old for me. Say, who am I waiting for? There we go. Nope. We got 1 box. We got 2 boxes. Just going around triggering the alarm. I will say, just to add on to your question there, Primal Luke, about the swords and everything like that, I will say that the overall content in this Void Vessel is pretty solid. I do think it's a nice little change from what we usually kind of get. Not like by a huge, not like miles difference or anything like that, but it's quite enjoyable. I mean, weirdly, they've gone from a doesn't swap, doesn't change, or anything to sorry, gone from one that does actually kind of change between runs and everything like that to this format where it doesn't change, which is a bit odd, but you know, whatever. But outside of that, yeah, it's pretty good, to be fair. Next month, future buff to swords, probably. I think they kind of have to, just purely for it's weird. The only people that can kind of currently use swords correctly are ones that don't care about ammo. So that's going to be Gley and Enzo. And then we've also got people that don't have an MP bar, because then we don't have to worry about 2 resources or anything like that. So that's going to be like Keelan, Kyle, Blair to an extent, because obviously you can just kind of top himself up. Oh, I got touched by one. Oops. But the weird part about it is the fact that no one, even ones that are weapon-based, no one can seem to buff up the swords. And I think if they just release that, I think it will be fine. Is that the one I need? I don't think it is it? Nope, never getting it. I've got enough of the other parts to be apart from the blueprint, I've got everything else I need to be able to make these. I just can't make it. Fantastic. Encho, thank you so much for stopping by in the stream. Appreciate you. How's the weekend treating you? Would have been cool, swords, to actually gain new ammo and not spend it. It doesn't make any sense in their current state. Yeah, I can kind of... That kind of would be interesting. I just wish that they'd done it as an extension to the sub-attack, in all honesty. It seems weird that we've got, you know, a melee function that exists in the game already. We've got modules for Descendants to be able to actually use for those. And they chose to make their own system instead of actually going that route. I mean, obviously it's their game, they can choose whatever they want, but it just feels like they've just forgot about sub-attacks, and it's just like, well, could you not have just done it as an extension, like make it a more powerful sub-attack? But... because now we've got even less reason to use those mods. Because why would you ever sub-attack when you can have a melee weapon? I don't know. Maybe there's method in the madness somewhere. Maybe I'm just not seeing it. I'm not big-brained. I will say, as bad as other creators and the rest of the community are making it out to be, at least they didn't bring it out in the States like the, you know, Hammer and Anvil. Because that thing's just not being used anywhere. Whereas at least the swords actually do have a niche, a cool factor, a reason to kind of use. And the hammer and anvil just kind of just sat there just going, I wish I was being picked. Won't buy me time to have a check of these. I will say in their defense, though, at least I kind of understand why they went for an ammo route. Because they've clearly took some inspiration from, you know, things like Destiny, things like... I can't remember, did Warframe actually kind of use it as well? I must admit I'm not... I think I've only played like about 10 or so hours of Warframe, so I don't know for certain if that is the case. But Destiny definitely does. Definitely has swords that require ammo. So I can see the inspiration. I can see why they got to giving it ammo in the first place. Do you think it's a bit odd about, like I said, about the MP cost though? Brain still hurts from farming the swords. I mean, I will say, in general, I don't mind it as a farm. I do wish they just... You've got them fully maxed out as well. Well, you got me beat then in that case. I think I've only been able to craft... Oh, hold on. It might be the final bit I need to be able to make a shadow, and do you know what? I'm just going to accelerate the research at this point. I just want it done. That's going to be my first shadow that I've been able to craft. The drop rates on this have been abysmal in most cases, to be honest. It's crazy how little I've actually seen of these. And I don't mind it because I guess it's like a long-term thing. As soon as you've got the first copy, you don't have to worry straight away about... yeah, I'm just going to accelerate it. I just want one now. I'm just that impatient. I know I shouldn't, but... That's where I find out I don't have a weapon to be able to make this level 100 either. No, I'm all good. Okay. So let's have a look at this bad boy then. I mean, it's a cool enough stance. So what does this go into? This goes into consecutive attack. This is a whale POV. Yeah, I mean, I don't. Just for the record, I don't tend to do this too much. There's been a couple of things in the past that I have done, yes, but I don't tend to do this. But I've been so fed up with the last few days trying to get hold of one of these that I've just had to. But I've got some caliber kicking around, so I thought, why not? Let's do it. So yeah, so I've seen people talking about consecutive attack for this one, because crit rate you can't go into. Consecutive attack does make sense. We do have an extra damage multiplier for Legion of Immortality champions. I need to remember which ones those are. Can only boost it up by 2x. Makes sense, it's a small one. Okay. And we've just got this extra Shadow Dash with what everyone calls the Judgment Cut and all that kind of thing, which is that bit, so... Okay. Well, we've got to... if I remember right, we've got to readjust this... several times, so we'll just keep going. I wish my game wasn't lagging out like that. So unless we see something fantastic, gold roll and all that kind of thing, we're just going to keep re-rolling these. What are we looking for? We're looking for toxic attack with this one. Oh, there's a melee attack. Executive chance is pretty much there as well. I might keep that one. We can get better. I mean, it's turned up a second time now. Yeah, let's go for the 14.6. We're gonna re-roll this several times anyway, so crit's not going to be helping us, so we don't care too much about that. There's the 0.6, so we'll keep that. Oh. How many more times have I got to re-roll this? Have I done it? No, still going. No, I've got a long way to go. Okay. Alright, we'll keep those. We've got enough resource. So I'm thinking... Oh, you would do, wouldn't you? So yeah, I'm thinking toxic attack and consecutive attack damage is going to be the way. What a fun challenge this is. Oh. Oh, this is going to get expensive, isn't it? Alright, if we get the toxic attack, then we'll stop. God, glad I saved up all these resources, Jesus. Yep. Yeah, man. Not the role I'm after, but... I suppose there's not a huge amount in it. I've gone through 1,000 resources now. Do I just stop there? Yeah, we'll stop there for now. I might even have done the challenge in all honesty. Yeah, I think it has. Reach proficiency with it to be able to go there. So we're looking for 2 more levels and then I get another shadow. And we're on here. So nice, I got 50 of them back. So we could have a look at what we need here. Toxic makes sense. Faster attack speed also makes sense. That toxic attack one probably would be the way to go. Yeah, that makes sense. We don't want crit hit damage or anything like that. I think I'm missing quite a few modules. Oh, also... whoop. What are we thinking? I mean, range would make sense, I suppose. Can mess about with those. Maybe that. I'll do for now. There's probably a bunch of mods I'm missing, I would imagine. Yeah. Yeah, quite a few of them. Especially the consecutive attack ones as well, so that would make sense. Well, we'll keep it like that for now. I love the difference in deep. Oh, it's because I haven't got weapon cores on it. I'll do weapon cores. We are looking for a toxic. Chill's not going to get me anywhere. Oh, okay, fine. There we go. We're just looking for a melee attack on this one. See if we can get gold. I mean, almost. And for this one, I've realised I'm using the wrong colours. I actually do want this one. What's going on? Just wants to give me a chance for some reason. That's a fantastic roll. I mean, that looks kind of cool. There we go. And we can just get an attack chance gold in this one, and I'm thinking pretty happy. Oh. Well, I guess we get rid of the lowest one, actually. What does that do? No, it does make sense to go into one chance. We're looking for a gold. There we go. Yeah, I'm happy with that. And now onto a mill. Cool. Well, got even more. Have I got more? No. It's just catching up. So we do want to increase our attack speed, definitely, 100%. So we can do that. Toxic 100% can be increased. Range, probably. So we'll do that as well. Sure, we'll keep Veil Analyzer. And then that should... Nice damage. 117% chance of being able to... So we'll guarantee a consecutive attack. Gives me a reduction. Yeah, guess that'll do for now. And we'll get both of these leveled up at the same time, and... where's Fire Hands? There he is. Cool. I'm happy now. Okay, I've actually got a copy of each. Is there any special bundles currently going on? No. Right, I guess we go back to it. What parts are we... I think. Yeah, no, we carry on. Because I do also want to get, for a build video, I want to get a better wave eruption. In fact, actually, I might even dismantle some of the trigger mods that I've got here.
If all modules were the same, I'd be out of a job, right?
Do that. Bunch of you. Get rid of you. Get rid of you. Yeah, that'll do. Cool. Plenty of space. Oh. Didn't even realise that's what that did. No, well. That's fine. Can I get you to make me some of these? And then we'll go back to it. So what's everyone currently grinding out for then? Is everyone working towards Descendants? Are they working towards weapons? Are they trying out the new stuff? Is anyone taking on the newer boss? The Abyss boss? It's what's everyone currently working towards? Do you know what? I'll try this. Nope. Nope. Okay. I did everything, moved back to Elden Ring Night Rain, just looking for crystals and that's it. Fair enough then. I must admit, I've never got into Elden Ring, I've not actually given it a go or anything like that, so I get too frustrated at games like that. It's the reason why, and to this day I still feel a little bit guilty about it. It's to this day I still haven't gone back and played Bloodborne, just because I hated myself while playing it. I can appreciate it's a good game, but I just cannot wrap my head around it. I genuinely just struggle. It's why I never really played a Dark Souls. I just for whatever reason, my brain just won't allow me to even attempt it. I just kind of like flap around and just get all panicked because I'm trying to dodge all the skills and everything like that. Well, that doesn't fill me with confidence. What do you mean they've added a really hard mode? Like, why wasn't it hard enough already? So it's almost like they heard that I can't do it, so they went, oh, well, that's good, because we've added more, and we've made it worse, and just when you thought you couldn't complete it, we've made it so you definitely cannot complete it now. I will admit, though, it is very satisfying once you do actually beat... So, for example, in Bloodborne, with the very first... Was it like a big tree monster or something like that was on a bridge? When you beat it, after like dying like 20 times like I do... Yeah, so admittedly on the on the first boss as well. There's nothing more satisfying than getting the completion art. And then instantly getting filled with dread after you realise that was just the first boss. You've got so many more that are coming your way. The wife absolutely loved just watching me just getting so frustrated. I'm normally such a calm, collected person, and I just got rolled, and I was just not happy about it. Good times, I think. Not for me, though. Right, keys. Hardest game is the first one you played. Yeah, that makes sense, actually. Yeah, I suppose when you put it that way. It is one of those that you just kind of like learn some memory and all that kind of thing. But the furthest I kind of get to is like Devil May Cry. Like, I know that is actually a solid game to play, and I just cannot learn how to dodge, I just cannot learn all the combinations and all that kind of thing for like the skills. Yeah, just not. It's just not in me. Yeah, no, all the games are absolutely amazing. Yeah, no, I've heard some fantastic stuff about it. It's one of those that I just kind of appreciate from afar. Like, I don't have anything negative to say about them. I know that it is genuinely just a skill issue on my part, and I just cannot bring myself. Dark Souls is easier than Devil May Cry. Do you know, I've never heard that before. If that is actually the case, I hope you're not lying to me. But I might give it a go if that is the case. Especially Dark Souls 3. If you beat Dark Souls 3, you'll be rewarded with an amazing experience. Oh, you're basically telling me to get these when they go on sale now, aren't you? Can I bring myself to do it? I might have to, you know. If you're singing its praises like this, I might have to. Yeah, Devil May Cry 3 is harder than Dark Souls. Oh, Devil May Cry 3 I did when I was in my teenage years and all that kind of thing, I suppose, so I managed to make it through that without being too frustrated. Okay, fair enough. Alright, in that case... Okay, so give me an idea here. If I wanted to play Elden Ring, because I know how amazing that game is and all that kind of thing, I've heard so much about it. If I wanted to play Elden Ring as my first proper step into those Souls-type games and all that kind of thing, where on the difficulty scale are we talking? Like, am I going to get fed up within the first 5 minutes? Give me an idea. Give me something. I need to know what I'm getting myself into. Play Souls 3 before Elden Ring? Oh, okay, fair enough. Are they actually I know they're related in being like Souls types and all that kind of thing, and they're made by the same developers, if I remember right, but are they actually related, like, story-wise? Is there a... Do they carry on? Elden Ring is a bit more forgiving. Oh. Well, I've learned something new today. I like how you're encouraging me to play the, You're encouraging me to play the slightly harder one first, then the more forgiving one. I really do appreciate that. I know, that's... No, but they put Souls bosses in Elden Ring Night Rain. Oh, okay. And Night Rain's the rogue-like type thing, isn't it? It's the one where you complete bosses to be able to get like items and stuff like that, isn't it? To be able to then make your build. I think that's right. No range for the people that beat all their games. Oh, okay. So it is like the next step up kind of thing. Or a bit more fan service in a sense. Tell you what, go on, let's have a look. What's on Steam? What is It's currently 20 quid. It's in the season pass. No, Rain's by far the hardest because it's just random. Yeah, fair enough. New bosses, enemies, additional weapon and armor sets. Okay. Might keep that open just for the time being. Maybe I'll Similar to games you've played, Clair Obscura Expedition 33. Somehow I don't think that is the case. I don't... Somehow I just have to doubt that that genuinely is a thing. I don't think a turn-based story game like Clair Obscura is in any way comparable. Yeah, you compare. Oh, actually, no, you do have a point. No, that's a fair. That's you've got me there. You can parry. And Mael expects you to parry the basically a meteor hitting the ground. Have I not killed everything? Oh, okay. Did I leave something alive? Oh. Didn't have an objective marker. No, it is actually so because there's a lot of parrying in Clair. No, okay, fair enough. No, you've got me on that point. You do have me. My advice is don't parry in these games, just dodge. I am aware of the constant Dark Souls dodge mechanics with infinite frames and invincibility frames. Sorry. I'll have to. Okay, fine. When I'm not making some content, I will find time to play. I will buy and I will play Dark Souls 3. I will give this a go and then I will report back on this. If I break my PC though, I am coming for you though. I am going to I am not going to be very happy and I am going to find a way. Actually, to be fair, I don't use my controllers too much. I suppose I could not much is lost if I Bid's slowly getting through the Sigma Sector stuff. Oh, fantastic. Sigma Sector you're going to have to get used to, though. You will be running that a lot. Fortunately, it's not as much nowadays, though, because arcade tuning can be found pretty much everywhere. So you don't... It's not your only source of arcade tuning anymore. But you do get some really good stuff, and you do have your very first mutant cell that can be grabbed from there, which is still some of the best stuff that you can actually put in most builds. So yeah, get used to farming that still. He's weak to toxic. Maybe he's weak to the sword. Beat Dark Souls 3 8 years ago, and I still think about the two DLCs. They're that amazing. Oh, well, in that case, you've sold the season pass to me. Ah, resource box, fantastic. Please, Daddy, another resource box, please. I need more resources. Meanwhile, I have everything I need to be able to make most of the catalysts that are... whatever. Yeah, meanwhile I'm sitting on hundreds of materials now because of the changes to everything. Elden Ring DLC is like 40 hours or 1,000 if you're a newbie. I mean, surely that's the best bang for your buck right there. Oh, keep me entertained for ages. I'd never need another game. I'll do, yeah. Uh, 35, 14. Keep going, I guess. Ugh. I suppose the real question is there anything I need to do? Because I do want to release this build. As a build sometime. So is there anything different I want to do? I think I'm pretty happy. Now Encho, there's a game that I'm going to be very controversial here. I've not completed The Witcher 3. I have started it twice. I have got so far in the game, and I must admit I got a little bit bored. I left it for a day to be able to, like, I just went, you know what, I'm done for the day. I'll come back to it or something like that on my save, and I still have yet to actually come back to it. So, I just, for whatever reason, I've just not been encouraged to ever go back to it or anything like that, and it's really weird because, like, I'm aware of like how loved that game is, and for whatever reason, I just can't bring myself to go back to it or anything like that. And it's made even more strange by the fact that I watched the tech demo for Witcher 4. And I went, wow, this looks amazing. Like how the world reacts to you, how gameplay could potentially be, and all that kind of thing. And I genuinely have an interest for number 4, just for like the small details that they've put into it and everything like that. And for whatever reason, I just cannot bring myself to play more of The Witcher 3. Just can't do it. It's really strange. I think for the same reason, like I can't play GTA as well. Like, I can appreciate that GTA is a great game and people absolutely love it and all that kind of thing. But personally, like, just driving around a city, just doing that kind of thing, the gameplay's never really sold it to me. The only thing that's ever been like a saving factor for me in GTA, especially in GTA 5, was the custom races that you can just do online. Just have a laugh, just do some crazy stuff, do some wacky stuff online with some friends and all that kind of thing. But the main bulk as to what makes GTA just doesn't interest me in the slightest, and it's for that reason I actually do not have any desire to pick up GTA 6 when it drops, which is weird. It's crazy. Like I said, I can appreciate it's a good franchise. It's a, you know, good set of games and people absolutely love them and all that kind of thing. But for whatever reason, I just do not gel with it, and I just don't care. The people at work, when I speak with them and all that about it, and they're like, "Oh my god, GTA 6 and all that kind of thing," and there's me just going, as far as I'm concerned, you can have the day booked off. I'm not going to be up for it. Yeah, me too. It got boring. Witcher 3 is overrated. I do have a friend that'll be very upset to hear these kind of comments on the being said on stream, but I don't care. He can keep his own opinion. And the combat is clunky. I played it after I beat all the Souls, and that's why it's boring and bland for me. Okay, fair enough then. So yeah, something else is, to compare it to and all that kind of thing is skewed the opinion. That's fair enough, I get that. 1 second, I need to make this grapple. There we go. Trust me, you wake up at 4 AM just to beat that boss that killed you 12 hours earlier in Dark Souls 3. No other game does that. You're making it sound like I do have the patience for that. Hold on. Have we not just spoke about how I am with Bloodborne? Either way, I am curious. I'm kind of interested to see what this hype is around Dark Souls 3. And then maybe that will encourage me to go to Elden Ring. I love the look of it. I've seen guides and all that kind of thing. I've watched content on Elden Ring. I know I do not have the patience for it. It sounds painful, but it's not. It's a good kind of pain. It's the kind of pain you want to put yourself through. It's the pain that I went through when I played Insanity mode on Mass Effect 2 and 3. It's... Tell you what, Dark Souls got nothing on that. You want pain? How about trying to complete Insanity mode on Mass Effect 3 just to try and get a Platinum trophy, but you couldn't get the Platinum trophy because one, a trophy had bugged online so you couldn't actually get it, and two, there was it asked you to complete every single mission in Insanity mode, and it gave you a counter, and I think it was something like 17 out of 18, if I remember right, and it kept saying that, and I had to go through the whole game 4 times to try and find out, all to find out that all I had to do was, without taking a step, is change the difficulty in the menu. As soon as you take a step anywhere on that very first mission, it didn't count as insanity. I was absolutely livid. I was so upset about that. Yeah, well, back in my day, eh? Just like the idea that I'm just going to be sat up here and the wife's just going to be trying to sleep, and the next thing she knows, she wakes up and she goes, "What's going on in there?" It's me just throwing the controller. Yeah. I have to swap over to some other content just in a sec to... just to mix this up, I think. I think I've got some stuff in Axiom, as well as... Actually, that's a point. I've got a Wall Crasher in about 9 minutes, so that'll be getting me some more resources. And then we've got the daily stuff in Sigma to do for the extra coins. Because why not? Might as well have some extra premium coins. Yeah. Do you know what? This whole conversation that we've just had just makes me want to say, so what other games does everyone watching, hot take, games that people really, really seem to enjoy, that you think are just overrated? You know, it's a safe space, so if you nope. well. You still play TFT because of the gameplay? Yeah, no, I can get that. I can get behind it. I mean, despite all its flaws and all that kind of thing, I do think that TFT actually has a really good formula with most of its descendants for making them feel unique. In most cases, feel strong. Obviously, you know, in comparison to each other, most of the time that's not the case. But you know, I'm looking at Serena and Inez and all that kind of thing. Obviously, all descendants aren't made equal. But I will say most are a lot of fun to play. Heck, even Carl now. It's starting to capture some of the shine that Outriders originally had, and ever since, you know, this was advertised while Outriders was already out and all that kind of thing. You know, I got to admit, the way they've done skills, I still think Outriders was a bit more punchy. It was a bit more. It felt a bit more impactful with your abilities in most cases. But in terms of like variety and all that kind of thing, this one feels fantastic. That said, though, if the Pyromaniac or the Pyromancer or whatever it was that was in Outriders, I think it was Pyromancer, was able to do what Blair was able to do, I probably would have played them a lot more than what I did, than who I ended up playing. Yeah, we'll get these swords done. Probably somewhere else. I suppose technically I could just... even more resources. Fantastic. Just what I was after. Probably could go to dedicated farms for weapon XP. Do it that way, but we'll see. I don't mind the imbalance. It's fine if some descendants are stronger than others. You can't perfectly balance everyone. No, I completely agree with you on that one. I do wish that that it wouldn't be a gap that's like this. You know, where's the camera? There we go. I wish it wasn't a gap like this. I wish it was more like this. But I mean, depending on obviously what you're doing with all the characters and all that kind of thing, I suppose yeah, it's never really gonna go that route, is it? Well, might as well make those 2 bits. Don't need any of that. Don't need any of this. And when it's not PvP, that's okay. Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, I always see the argument of, oh, it's not PvP. You know, you should never nerf and all that kind of stuff. And I mean, to an extent, sure. But there still has to be some kind of balance somewhere. You know, you can't just have one character that basically is like a cheat code compared to the rest that are still struggling. There's people that want to use all the characters. You know, it should be fair pickings to be able to pick characters. Now, obviously, I'm not saying that, you know, Bunny's farming should be on the same level as like Blair's or, you know, Jaber's or anything like that. I'm not trying to say, but everyone should have a niche or should be acceptable to be able to use in every single bit of content. And in most cases, it doesn't feel that's the case. Case in point is going to be Serena still. Not because Serena nerfs every single descendant across the board, but more specifically because she is a fire-based descendant, she nerfs all of the fire-based characters. And it means that you're going to struggle if you ever want to go do an Abyss fight, if you ever want to go onto a leaderboard or anything like that, if you ever want to use Blair or Izimo or... who's the other one? Lepic. If you ever want to use any of those three to try and push for something, you're always going to be hindered because the developers have made it so that they have really good fire resistance. Or there's something that's specifically they're like, oh, we've got to counter Serena, and just try and approach it that way. So yeah, it's not... kind of sucks. They tackle it that way, but, you know... I wish they didn't. Well, I guess we'll see. We'll see what they do in the future. Use different descent for almost every content, so Bunny for Dungeons makes sense. Serena for Wall. Yeah, Serena for Wall just always makes sense. Luna for Purge and Axiom. That's fair enough. Freyna for Sector. Yeah, I get that. I get it. Yeah. In fact, that makes sense. Like, there's no descendant for everything. Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, there shouldn't be a descendant that should be the king of every, or king or queen of everything. You know, so some should be slightly stronger in certain areas, but it's a very weird balancing game that they're playing over there at Nixon. But we'll see what the future brings on that. Virgil Sunspire, hello. How's it going? It's nice of you to pop in. How's your weekend currently treating you? You having a nice Sunday? Zach, I've been farming on and off for 3 days, and I barely had enough to make one of each sword today. Well, I'm completely with you. I've managed to make my first Shadow Sword as of today. The grind has genuinely been nutty. I feel like they've just done this purely to be able to try and extend it out, and I don't think they've gone about it the right way. Which kind of sucks. And to be honest with you... Oh no, I've definitely farmed one because obviously I've got that. I was going to say I only got my Deus Ex mainless because I went for the sword pass, but no, I would have got one now. So yeah, it's been a bit crazy. Not too sure who came up with this idea, but hey ho, it's it's the content we've been given, and in most cases it doesn't sound like the payoff's kind of there. I've missed Wall Crusher as well. Oh no, I've still got a chance. It's up to 5 past if I remember right. It's 5 minutes grace to be able to get in. Yeah. Just got home from Asda. Typical grocery shopping. Oh well, I mean, heck, I've done my food shopping today, so I'm kind of with you on that. I always enjoy the first day of food shopping because you're like, wow, look at all this great stuff that I've bought. Can't wait to enjoy this for the rest of the week, and then within 2 days it's all gone, and then you're sad for the rest of the week because you haven't got another food shopping planned. not the best aiming on my part, by looks things. Nope, a little jingle. I've got something. Nope. Oh, no, it's still going. Oh dear. I think I just hit the jackpot. 6, 12, 18, 24. Did I just get 29 modules? Surely not. 6, 12, 18, 24, 25, 29. 29 trigger modules. And they're all gonna be oh no. Well, there's a good battering ram one. Wow. Don't know what I'm going to do now, because that... Oh, I definitely have space. Ooh. Well, Enzo's going to be happy with that one. Oh, no, I don't want... Okay. Actually, do I have a better arcade league? Probably not. Knowing my luck. 16. Okay, that's better. 15, 17. I'll go with that one. I kind of want to go back to Albion and get rid of most of those new ones that I just got, because not all of them are great. I don't think I've ever had 29 trigger modules in one single drop. What have I missed here? Oh dear, little is cheaper, little is far. Co-op mart right next to me, I never go there. Co-op has to be the worst supermarket in the UK. No, there's definitely some kind of chain, cooperative, quite popular around the place and all that kind of thing. So, no, it's definitely some kind of chain. I don't think I've ever had a bad experience inside of a inside of a co-op. This feels weird. Hey, Anne, how did your stream go? Yeah, well, funnily enough, we spoke about co-ops. Oh yeah, what did you get to? Ah, well, we found out that co-op might actually be. Funny. So this is why I like streaming. You get to have some really fun conversations here. Just to be able to talk about things like co-op. It's all good fun. Bids, what's the fastest way to increase mastery rank? The fastest way is going to be using new descendants that you've not used or leveled up at all just yet. And also using your 2 weapon slots here to like slot in some stuff. So, for example, so this Shadow Sword, for example, because I haven't got this to level 40 first yet, I've not fully completed it through one single go. Every single level of that, as it goes up, I'm going to be gaining mastery rank XP. So you kind of want to slot this in on the 2 weapon slots that you're not going to use. Same with it's the same with purple weapons. I think blues also do the exact same thing as well, if I remember right. The first time you get a descendant from level 1 to 40 does the exact same thing. That's going to be the fastest. The other things that you can do is if you go to your map, the first time you complete a... I'm trying to see if I've got an example. I think that's one there. Is that one there? Might be. Dark Souls 3 stream, yeah. We've got to find out if I can actually do it first. Hold on. I'm not going to make a fool of myself straight away. Yeah, so Biz, you see that the one that's got the number 200 next to it? It looks like it's getting inside the star. It looks like kind of like a thumbprint, I guess, is probably the best way I can describe it. That gives you 200 XP towards your mastery rank as well. Every single mission that you haven't completed on hard mode, you essentially get it the first time you complete that mission. So as you can see, it doesn't exist for most of these for me because I've already done it, but then I'll have randomly an extra one that does. So redo those missions on hard for the first time, and you will also get some mastery rank XP as well for it. That's the best way to be able to get that though. As for when I can do a Dark Souls 3 stream, kind of a little bit limited in time, in all honesty, and that's me. I know that sounds like me trying to make some excuses up and all that kind of thing, but I've got to try and find time to be able to make content for TFD. I've got to make content for Borderlands 4, and amongst all that, still got to find some time for Dark Souls. If I get lucky, there is a chance that maybe next weekend, maybe we can just have a little bit of a laugh. Maybe I can just put Dark Souls on, and we can learn it while I'm on stream, and you can all just have a good laugh at me. As I'm failing spectacularly. So maybe that's the way that we go about it. I will have a look into it this week in terms of buying a copy and all that. In fact, actually, what can I actually get it for? How is it still this expensive? It's crazy. Wow. Even on like CD keys, which is where I tend to get some games and all. The deluxe edition for Dark Souls 3 is still 27 quid. That's crazy. I think it's 30 on Steam, so I could just get it from there at that point. I'll have a look around. Yeah, it looks like it keeps its value quite well. Okay, maybe. Maybe. Maybe I will punish myself next week. See if I get some time on the weekend, and put myself through that. We will consider it. Um, 11.5-second duration. Fantastic. Trying to think what else I need to farm for now. Close to getting the second shadow. What do we need to do? Could just go onto some easier content and just do this. Or I could just punish myself by going into Axiom and doing the exact same thing. Go on then. This is the one for Legion of Breach Commanders. Let's go test something out. In fact, actually, we could do good old Big Meat Blair. Get rid of you, get rid of you. Put you in. Put you in. And then I could use the tow ability on the flame zones on Power Beyond, and that would make it a little bit easier to smack. Oh, wait. Oh dear, have I swapped Big Meat Blair for this? Wait, no, there's not enough range. That can't be right. I think I broke my Big Meat Blair build. Hold on. Yeah, why are you on? Oh. Why are you on? Weird. Don't remember doing that, but apparently I did. Okay, we'll try that again. Well, it's been a while since I played Big Meat. So now I'm running out of ammo. And you only get 2 back per brick that you pick up. Oh, and I'm already out of ammo. Well, doesn't reach. So is it against these that it should be good against? Probably would help if I had some ammo, but... That does so little. You need ammo. That does so little. Oh, actually. Now hold on. There is a chance. There is a chance that we just did a lot of damage there. Oh, god damn it. That's fine. Oh no, if I abandon... Oh, screw it. Also... Yeah, that's fine. The only way to test that for certain, though, is to use someone that can... regen ammo. So it would have to be Glay, because... I do like that sieve. That's pretty cool. Okay, so if we went... Where's my glay? Did that. I'm not currently using this, so that's fine. Yeah. I might need to level that up then. Because I think that puts it up. Yeah, puts it up an extra few seconds, so I need... Go back to Albion. Let's unlock Arcade Trigger. If I extend the duration on this, I can just go for unlimited ammo. I don't have to worry about MP because she doesn't have an MP bar. Don't have to worry about ammo because she sorts that out. She gets a nice little speed boost now. Skip that. I don't know what she actually gets for... she gets nothing. Okay. She gets absolutely nothing. What do you do? I'll just put gap in time just because it looks cool. Duration, maximize duration. We'll even go battle stamina. We'll go HP. Get that. We'll go cooldown. So that's now up to 15.7 seconds. That's pretty good. MP conversion. That could work. Is there anything else we really need? I suppose HP collector would probably be a good shout. Probably get some defense. What are we up to now? Yeah, that'll work. I suppose skill cost could probably work, because doesn't that help HP? Yeah. Oh yeah, I need to. Level that down.
If all modules were the same, I'd be out of a job, right?
Is that enough for now? That probably should be. There we go. And then we'll get our HP back. And that'll probably work. So if we now go that, and that, so we can always just kind of fall back on it. Yeah, I guess that works. Did I get the Colossus screen? Yes. Oh man, I haven't got the... Quite surprised though, I thought I did. I clearly need to buy some more stuff for Gley. What is Void Vessel? I pressed the thing and now I'm in a thing. Are you in the Void Vessel? I mean, obviously it makes sense to crop that. So yeah, we'll try this out. Are you currently in Void Vessel there, Bids? Yeah, you're in it. Okay, so Void Vessel is this over here. You can only farm for specific resources in it. These are some of the better ways to collectively gain all the resources for catalyst farming. Essentially, just room, you just kind of complete it. I assume you're in this assumed bridge zone, but this is how you get like the dogs. You also get parts for Inez. I think, if I remember right, if you go on to normal, is it Keelan? Yeah, so you get Keelan and also the other one, the other dog that currently exists. Snowy Sled Dog is tied to Axiom Plains as we currently speak. So if you need a fellow, which you're going to need to because they do all the collecting for you and they do the dismantling and everything for you, then yeah, I would recommend you get one of these. And then Keelan and Inez are farmable from here, but you will need like the keys to open up the chest to be able to then get the stuff that's in it. So, like I say, it's pretty good for farming all the extra bits that you need, like here. And every single run you get 6 decryption keys. You can get extra from the battle pass. So once you've done the battle pass and you get these pink tokens right here, you can then drop these pink tokens and you can actually buy some extra decryption keys, which makes it so much easier to be able to farm for all the extra stuff that you actually need from there. How do I not have any rounds for this? I'm here to go ham. Oh, I mean, that's good damage. Is it difficult somehow to get wiped? I'd say for certain. So one of the main things you need to kind of like pay attention to there are the shields. So for example, if it's a blue shield that's around enemies, you need skills to be able to pop those. And if it's a yellowish kind of orange type deal that you can see, then that's going to be weapon based. So you need, oh god damn it. So you need to shoot those to be able to pop them. You can't pop them with shields. But overall, it's a decent experience. Where are you? I mean, that could be the play. I don't get it. I think this is fine. I don't understand what. Mine's not even fully kitted up. In fact, you know, I probably should have catalyzed this before I came into the fight. I mean, this one doesn't feel as good, but... Ooh, got my second shadow locked. I'm at 5 mil damage with shadow already. I don't know. I feel like these swords actually do have their use if you play them to their strengths. Go back to Albion. Let's do the shadow up. So what do you gain? Oh. Oh, was that it? No, alright. Not as huge as I expected it to be, but alright. Okay, so what have we got? We've got damage with Shadow, one more level of that to do. Enemies with Deus Ex Manus. You know what? I feel like I'm just gonna make a private lobby, I think. And just give it a go. Yeah, let's give it a go. Why not? Axion. Private. Because then all the enemies will be around me and it'll be much easier to be able to show it off. That's fine, we'll give it a go. Anyway, I do want to take this opportunity to say thank you all so much for stopping by and tuning in and everything like that. And it means a lot that you've dropped to. You're going to be spending some time with me over the weekend and all that kind of thing while we're doing this stream. So, genuinely, thank you so much. Even if you've not chatted or anything like that, still, it's great to have you around. Anytime, ignore the question mark. Did I just say 9.6 mil? I don't get it, man. That seems like decent damage to me, and this is level 190 enemies, and nice. So how did you find new challenges? Oh no, it's going to be enough to kill me. Might need a bit more HP. I might swap out Battle of Stamina for a proper HP mod. Especially in this kind of case where just so much mobbing. Okay, so this one might prove to be a problem. So it's not against these that this is one. Yeah. Yeah, so it's not against those enemies. So it is purely against the end boss of Axiom Plains. Yeah, this is... it's just not doing enough damage to get through. No, I don't... Oh dear, that's going to be enough to kill me. Got shot in the ankle. Yeah, if you're going this route for Glare, you absolutely need... God damn it. A lot of HP. Oh, it just spawns me in a puddle. I won't lie, I wasn't expecting this kind of level of difficulty. Jeez. Yeah, mission failed, I'm not surprised. Yeah, so Battle Stamina's got to be a different HP mod in that case. Because we don't have enough. Kick around. To be fair, we are missing out some HP on the... I forgot to put a do cause. Arcade tuning is... fine. Maybe go that route. Because then that puts it up to 88.65. Yeah, let's go put the component cores on this. I completely forgot. That's on me. Now, but I have another 150% HP based on what we just played as, so hopefully that makes us tanky enough. Complete your first Void Festival run. Congratulations, Bids. That's what, is that just on the normal? How did you find it? What do you think of it? Get ready, because you're going to have to learn box placements and everything like that to be able to get all the items that you need. Fantastic first roll. Not so much that one, but that's fine. That'll just give me gold and fire resistance. Close to 7k, do you know what that'll do? 3x, 3%, yeah. That'll do. Yeah, we can get better than that. Technically. That's what we're after. It's more defense. Fire resist really wants... Oh, come on. I'm after defense anyway. Wow. God, that's rough. There we go. And then that should just leave the last one. Right. About to do hard version now. Need to do it to unlock the other part, but I have some encryption keys now. Fantastic. Yeah, so after your first run, yeah, you will get those keys, and then you can open up all the boxes. If you need help with box locations or anything like that, just let me know. I'm sure I can point you in the right direction, give you a heads up as to where some of them, because some of them are actually kind of hidden. Yeah, we can definitely help you out with that, especially since there's two main routes. What does that put me at now? 24k. Yeah, there's two main routes for the first Void Vessel. So certain box locations, and you can actually slightly backtrack onto the other one if you go one of the routes. So it does make sense to try and do that. I still haven't put a catalyst in this. Alright. There we go.
Well, you're here for modules, right?
More crit damage. Good times. Are we up to 10x yet? Oh, almost. I don't know if that's necessarily the best place and best thing to actually have there. So we do want the... What other modules have we got now? Executive attack is 87%, which isn't great because obviously that doesn't do much. But maybe going crit rate as the last roll on this will get me up to 100%. So if I lock. Yeah. I mean, Legion of Breach would be a good roll on this, actually. 24k. Extra for extra. Wait. That put me up to 100. Almost. In that case, I kind of want to go for Legion of Breach. I would like a gold roll, though. But that's... It's designed for Legion of Breach. It makes sense for it to have that kind of roll. Aha. you been?
Hey there. What can I help you with?
About time I got this one.
Ask me anything about modules.
Oh. Sounds good to me. Cool. And hopefully we can get the chill one, and then that will actually bump up the damage even more. We're getting there very slowly. Let's buy an extra slot. Oh. We will save it here. Velocity 1-point breakthrough is the one you need. You can tell me I don't have that yet. Oh no, there is. You're going to say that over that one, aren't you? Which does make sense, to be fair. We'll swap that one over. Let's go do that. Thank you for the hint. To be fair, I was hoping to get all the modules before I actually made a proper decision, but looks like that's actually going to be more of a pain than I thought. Yeah, that's fine. I don't get it. I mean, 300k, 350k. Let's call that 350k into an almost 10x crit damage. And hilariously, because of the build and all that kind of thing, I do have consecutive attacks for an extra 10% more damage. And then we get a 4x on Legion of Breach. I honestly don't know how this can't be good. Like, surely. Yeah, so much drops rates pretty dope. Yeah, to be honest, I've got most of those by combining. So yeah, I'll probably get that. That's fair enough. Let's see if we can just test this one out. Because I really want to do it on one of the end bosses, because I think I saw a lot of damage come in when we were playing 4 people. But to be fair, there were 2 Lunas nearby, so there is every chance that it was their own damage. But I could have sworn it's coming from this. Because if we're doing 350k into 10x, that makes it 3.5 mil. Then put into a 4x. Puts it up to around about 12 mil per swing, surely? Well, now this is doing some work now. I think that's 2 hitting. So what do I do against you? Do I do anything against you? I'm damaging straight to your health bar. Okay, that's interesting. Oh, worst thing in the world? Hmm. Well, losing all my HP is never a good sign. No, no. To be fair, there's a lot of infected around on these things. Probably should have cleaned those out. Well, I got him. I mean, I just can't tell if other people are just using these wrong. Like, how am I? How are these bad if I'm two hitting? Like in a wide area. Mine's not even fully built yet. Yeah, it's able to do all this. Whee! Let's see what it does against the boss before I make a snap judgment. Come here, then you. Yeah. What? I mean, I don't mean to be that guy, but if you genuinely think that the swords are god awful, you are currently using them wrong. Thing is, if you want to incorporate swords in your mobbing builds, you have to compromise your build. Do you though? Because the way you could see it is that if you, for example, if you were playing as Bunny or something like that, let's say you're playing Bunny in Axiom Plains right now. Yeah, you could use your skill 4 to be able to absolutely burst things down and all that kind of thing. But if you've got a stockpile of heavy ammo kicking around, you just put this as your alternate weapon, or yeah, because you want something that's got sprint speed. You put this as your alternate weapon. You get to the end of an Axiom Plains mission. You're like, great, I've got to deal with whatever's in front of me. You pull out the sword, and as you just saw, I swung 4 times for the first phase, and then swung a little bit more for the last phase, and everything was done. These aren't going to be farming weapons. These aren't going to be designed for that side of things. You're going to have much better time using your skills. You're going to have a much better time using, restored relic, for example, anything along those kind of lines. These are to pull out for the bosses just to finish. These are a fantastic bossing finisher ones for the ones that they're designed for. And in this case, Deus Ex Manus is absolutely made for Legion of Breach, so that has to be Axiom Plains. And then Shadow is a little bit different because I think it does have a lower damage output, but it does have access to more ammo. But is to be there against Legion of Immortality, and Legion of Immortality champions are... I'm trying to think off the top of my head who uses Legion of Immortality. But that 4x is insane. And I think people have just seen it as these melee weapons are supposed to be your mobbing and your bossing and all that kind of thing, and they're absolutely not. I mean, heck, I feel like, granted I've got my arcade tuning set up for this, but the only thing that's really benefiting for the swords that I'm getting out of this is going to be these extra increases to melee weapon attack, which, okay, fair point, 13.4% extra increase to my weapon damage is fantastic, and also going to be enhanced double strike because that's an additive bonus, so that means that actually gives me a better chance to land that, but even then, Deus Ex Manus isn't really benefiting massively from that because it does have such a low consecutive attack damage. So I'm only getting an extra 10% of my damage if I manage to land that. So really, that's not like a huge factor. Granted the melee weapon crit chance is quite nice and the crit damage. So these nodes and obviously the firearm attacks and all that kind of stuff, yeah, absolutely, you could make a point for that, but I feel like you could just get rid of that. You don't necessarily need that. You could be running a skill power build over on the right hand tree. You're still running into skill power, you're still running into external components. Granted, I'm messing about with this side of things, but this external component set doesn't read to me as overpowered or anything like that. I feel like you absolutely could get away with just being able to take these off and you just rely on the stats of the weapon hitting for just shy of 10x damage, and then putting it into the 4x when it comes to the damage multiplier against Legion of Breach. I feel like you could absolutely get away with that. The only downside that you've got to kind of factor in, and to be fair, I think this is probably the reason why it's gone into heavy ammo, is the fact that you cannot use this like just willy-nilly. You do have to be a little bit sparing. But if you think about it, you could run as an Enzo. What could you do? You could use Enzo as a mobbing build. What would you be running him in Axiom, I suppose? You probably could get away with restored relic because relic's not really going to be a boss killer. So you could use this to be able to mop up all the mobs until you get to the very end, and then right at the very end you then swap over to this. And you just go a little bit crazy. I think it's just the MP warriors that's the problem. I think if they got rid of the MP cost on this, it would be a fantastic weapon. And that's the reason why Keelan is a great shout for these swords. Because he doesn't have an MP bar. And his dashes are fantastic for mobbing, but kind of suffers a little bit when it comes to single target. And all he needs to do is just pull out one of these swords, and he's good to go, as long as he's got the ammo for it. Yeah, you're fine. I'm willing to test that out, though. I'm willing to test that theory out one more time. I'm going to do one of my favourite missions. I'm going to do the Technical Research Institute. And we'll test this out one more time. Because the boss at the end of this is extremely tanky. Especially in that second phase. So let's test the theory out. I've not heard that noise yet. Yeah, I don't think they're meta staples or anything like that, these swords, but I do think they have a use, unlike what people are making them out to. And this probably could one-shot the most of these trash mobs if I had the chill mod for extra damage. Because you can see how close it is getting to that one-shot. I think I need to go mob farming next. Yeah, I think if I can get this down, I think I might just have to make a video, just call it "Stop Using the Swords Wrong." And just brief people as to how you're supposed to be using these. Might get them to 40, get them fully catalysed first though, but that's easy enough done with the spec ops and all that. I'm having a great time with this. This is this is so easy. Just hold down trigger and just let the like dashes and rolls do everything you need it to. That's... And off we go. Oh god, what that? Okay, targeting this for a dash. What is this? What is this? Someone clearly didn't go like test this out. That's something Q&A could have fixed. Anyway, might actually call this the last run of the stream, just to be able to test this out, and I'll be doing some extra stuff in the background. Just because it's getting close to like dinner time and everything like that for me, so... I mean, it's decent damage. It's very easy to get overrun though when you're using them. That's the only downside. Let's see what this does. Oh, come on, that's a 3/. That's insane. Oh god. No. No, anyone that said the swords are bad, I'm not listening to anymore. That's... That guy's health bar just disappeared. Yeah, I think I might have to. I think I might have to do a... I think there's been a lot of false information that's gone out, and I don't think people have... Oh, I've not even... I'm missing even some HP here. Whoops. Ah, well, that's fine. I'll sort that out. Yeah, I'm, Swords are fantastic in the right setting. Like I said, if you try using these everywhere, yeah, you're not going to have a good time, but... Swords are based as hell. Nah, man. Have you been watching this whole time, Elisa? They need improvements. I'm not going to flat out just deny that they don't need anything going for them. I'm not going to say that they're meta or anything along those kind of lines. I'm not that daft that I'm about to kind of do career suicide and all that kind of thing. But they have uses. It's not like you're not going to use Malevolent as a bossing gun. You're going to purely use it for what it's intended, what it's good for, which is going to be mobbing. Same with Greg's. You're going to be using Greg's for high-density mobbing. You're going to be using it for potentially bossing and all that kind of thing. But you're going to build into its strengths. You're not going to be ignoring the fact and just go, oh, well, I'm just going to use this everywhere because it can be used or anything like that. No, you're going to build into what it's good at. And in that case, when it comes to the swords, what they're good at is hitting Legion of Breach commanders for 4x damage on top of everything that they already do. As well as when it comes to Shadow, and I do need to have a look into this a little bit more, unless Elisa is able to give me the information here. But Legion of Immortality champions, do you have an idea as to where those spawn? Because I'd love to test this one out. But yeah, I completely agree on the farm. Yeah, the grind is way too much. No, 100% the grind is way too much. This also needs amending. I'm definitely going to mess about with this one a little bit. But no, the grind is insane. The fact that it's been since Thursday. Actually, no, it was since Wednesday, wasn't it? The Wednesday, the patch dropped on Wednesday. And we're just about... Well, I've only just about managed to get these two to 1 copy each, and then the 1 copy from the Sword Pass. If it wasn't for the Sword Pass, I'd just have the base values for these. So... Shadow is great against the Chunky Boys in the new Void Vessel. Perfect. That gives me a place to be able to start from them. So, I wasn't too sure if that was Legion of Immortality, but that does make sense. So that's perfect. So yeah, I'll get these both leveled up a little bit. We'll get those tested, and do it properly. But yeah, I think it's more they're just misunderstood. But yeah, fingers crossed we'll get some more love heading their way and everything like that. So yeah, let's just teleport over here. But fingers crossed we get some more stuff. So but anyway, I am overdue for going to sort some dinner for me and my lovely wife. So I am going to wrap this up here. But thank you all so much for popping by. Thank you all so much for joining me with my TED Talk, and as I go and discuss why people misunderstand the swords and everything like that. But no, this has been great. To be fair, I didn't know about all of this stuff, and the fact that we get to test some of this on stream is fantastic. So I'm going to do a little bit more in the background after I've had some food, and we'll take it from there. But yeah, so thank you so much for stopping by. Pocahontas going to say that your voice sounds so relaxing, you should do voiceovers. I appreciate that. To be fair, I've had a couple of comments say that I sound like Jarvis from Iron Man and everything like that. So I personally don't hear it, but hey, you know, if that's what people say, you know, that's I'll take it as a compliment. Paul Bettany's a fantastic guy, so it's no, but that's great. Thank you all so much for stopping by. It really does mean a lot to me. Enjoy the rest of your weekends. I hope it means a lot to me if you have a great time. And yeah, there's going to be plenty more content coming to the stream, coming to the channel soon. I'm back feeling much better and everything like that, so illness is not going to be stopping me anytime soon, so we're all good. But yeah, thanks so much. Have a nice evening. Keep yourself safe. Keep yourselves well. I'll see you all on the next stream. Cheers.